Truth with Lou and Don. Please like, subscribe, and share. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Tell Your Truth with Lou and Don. Um, we're gonna touch on a couple of things tonight. It is Men's Mental Health Month, um, and I'm actually kind of sharing this type of same content on multiple shows. Got invited to be on a show with a psychologist, just talking about how men don't really take the time to heal. But I'm gonna let my brother set it off. What you got first for us?
All right. What you want to do, bro? We can go part two. Go. We can finish up what we started last week. Um,
All right.
you know, as far as how we say like you and me, we raising kids with different moms and shit. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And you know, with that, the way it picked up from, it could cause trauma to the kids
Oh,
if it's not the right
absolutely.
situation. If it's not the right
Um.
situation, or the moms,
oh,
if y'all ain't lockstep together, especially if y'all not in lockstep.
yeah. That's usually the biggest problem. They not no saying you and your children's other parent, your co-parent, is not in lockstep. Um. Like I went to a graduation today for my bonus son, my
Okay.
ex-wife's son. Um, but it what he saw and what he was able to see was me and his biological father sitting right there, chopping it up, cutting it up. His mother's right there. Um, because it really does truly take a village. Like when they get to the point in the graduation where they tell the kids to clap for their parents, we're sitting there shouting each other out. You know what I'm saying? Because we all had a part in his, his growing up.
Hmm.
Um, but if you're not in lockstep with your co-parent, then y'all are either gonna be playing tug of war with the kid. You know what I'm saying? You like me more. You like me more. You like me more. I can do more for you. I can spend more on you. Like that's not healthy for a child. You know what I'm saying? The child needs to understand that everybody's a cohesive unit. You know what I'm saying? The way that you move here is the same way you're gonna move over there. You know what I'm saying? Because we're a unit. You know what I'm saying? We're talking to each other. If you got in trouble here, don't think you're just gonna run over to your other parents' house because you got in trouble over here. Nope. Because when you get over there, you're just gonna get in more trouble um, because you're in lockstep. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't take into account. I know the last three generations has been generations of single parent households. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're trying to learn how to co-parent with somebody who you may not really get along with anymore. But for the sake of that
Right.
child, y'all got to get along. Y'all got to be on the same page. Um, we can't let what two adults had to go through, whatever caused y'all is to split up. That's y'all thing. That child has to see something totally different. You know what I'm saying? That child has to see that when you and I come together in the same room, we can be cordial to each other. You know what I'm saying? We can show up to events together just for the good of the child because that child didn't ask to be here. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. And the second thing on that is like your relationship with your daughter or your son or whatever is your relationship. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But sometimes the other parent wants to have your they want to mold you and your kid's relationship. Like, no, 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 no. Your relationship is your relationship with her. My relationship is my relationship. We agree to co-parent together, but the way we deal with each other and understand each other ain't the same way you're gonna do it. Especially when you raising a boy and especially when you raising a girl. You feel what I'm saying? If you
Right.
raised a girl, you definitely know things that I don't know about the whole aspect of it. And I'll let you have that. Let it explain it to me because we all know we we know
Right.
the boy. You got to raise a boy to be a man.
Absolutely.
If there's certain corners, there's certain things you got to handle it straight up. Boom. So you know, and especially when you're trying to tell them about life, there's no sugarcoating life. You know what I'm saying? It's real. You know, it's real. I mean, enjoy your teenage years, enjoy all this because once you turn, and you know, most kids think when they turn 18, oh, we grown. No, that just means we can't come get you out of jail. That's
Right.
it. That's it.
That don't mean
Whatever
you
you
grown.
do, whatever you do, you're truly responsible for. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying? And so, but you know, when you try to sit there and and you fight against the other parent to try to guide them in the right direction, it's like wow. And then when it comes to fruition, and we know we all hold up, fellas out there and moms out there, we all get to the point where when they turn 18, you can come.
Right. It's too late then.
They already who they are.
Right. I can't build him to be who he needs to be at 18. I got to start when he's 5, 4, 3. You know, I have to,
Day one.
you know what I'm saying? I got to teach him from the beginning, help him create that identity that's going to keep him from getting in the streets and allowing the streets to create that identity for him. I gotta show him what a man looks like. A woman has to show a young lady what a young lady is supposed to look like. Um, but we're so busy doing this that we're missing the most important part of parenthood, which is molding and building a child to be a responsible adult. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
We dodge the most important thing.
you're right. But when you look at it, what's the first thing they want to do to you when you have a baby and y'all don't get along? Where's the first place you going?
Child support.
They're gonna come up with some dumbass number. Y'all gonna have to haggle it down. But then, at the same breath, she gonna holler, "You ain't spending no time." Well, if
Can't I
I'm
gotta
giving
work?
you,
I gotta take
if
care of
I'm
two
giving
households.
you, you getting the money, I gotta go to work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So now you got to go to work, and then you got to make the time. But you go when you realize that you got to pay some crazy number, you realize that you're going to be there for all his major events. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Depending on what you do, you're never gonna miss a birthday. You're never gonna miss this, miss that, miss this as best as you can. But
Right.
you can't explain to a kid when you get older. You got to explain where was you this, where was you that, where was you this. There's two households here. The money that's made, like you said, go with it.
You gotta understand that man, and it is definitely his responsibility. So I'm not alleviating any man of his responsibility. Y'all both have responsibility to that child. But at the same time, that
Thank
man is now taking care of two households, the one he lives in and the one his child lives in. He's partially helping with that one, and he has to take care of his own household.
you.
Um, I don't know of a lot of rich dudes. So we all working to earn a paycheck. And in doing so, your money get thin. That means you got to work harder. You know what I'm saying? So it's more than a financial aspect. Um,
Definitely.
and you know, I really wish that a lot of people, I'm not gonna put it on men, I'm not gonna put it on women. I just wish that a lot of people would realize raising a child, financial, yes, the child needs clothes, child needs food, roof over their head. Absolutely. We got to do this together. We got to figure out a way to do this together. But spending time with that child is much more important, um, because that child, you're going to be an adult longer than you are a child. You got, let's not even call it 18 years, because by the time they 15, 16, they've already
Hey,
set in their mind who they are. So you got
once
a
they get to
good 15 years.
that gap between middle school and high school,
Hmm.
that's what you got. You know what I'm
You
saying?
got
That's
a
what you got.
good solid 15 years to help that child, mold that child, teach them manners, guide them through things. You ain't got a lot of time. Those years go by real quick. Um, but you know, to everybody out there who's co-parenting, who's sharing the parental responsibility of a child, Like when that child goes to your house or when that child comes back
John,
to
you see
my
any
house.
comments on your side? You see any comments on your side?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me pull them up. My bad.
They
I didn't even
ain't
have it
saying at
pulled up.
all.
There we go.
Oh shit! Who hit the who? Damn shit! How many you got over there?
We got another one,
Mhm. Hey, boys.
but if it's not the child's fault. So adults need to figure out how to make it work. Absolutely, it's not. It's the child has nothing to do with that. Um, Adults make decisions, and then the child suffers every single time. And that child may not just suffer for that moment in time. That child may end up suffering for years because you created a traumatic situation for them because y'all are arguing, because y'all are not on the same page, because y'all can't sit in a room together and be civil towards one another. You that's the biggest thing. Like, yes, for whatever reason, y'all broke up, y'all didn't work out. Fine, okay, put that shit to the side for a second. There's none of my children. I can't sit in the same room with their mothers and have a cordial conversation, laugh, joke, giggle. Why we broke up is irrelevant now. We broke up. That's water under the bridge. What's more important now is we both have to raise a child together. Um, you can't skip over that. You just can't. Um, and then to add to that, now y'all split up. You got a new person in your life. They got a new person in their life. Now it's four people in this kid's life. You know what I'm saying? There's four adults that are basically have to help mold this child. Y'all got to be able to sit down and have conversations and be chill.
Yeah, but sometimes that I don't want that be around my kid, and I don't do. Then you know how that yada yada go.
Yeah, that's
Especially
childish.
that yada yada is crazy because that's what kids, man. No, we like if we do the shit. Obviously, we ain't bringing the kid around them right there. We got to put some time in because she may be missed right now, not missed later on. You feel what I'm saying? That ain't gonna happen. And I hope the female, if she, especially if you got a girl, that shit wouldn't happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You see you moving funny or me moving funny. You know what I'm saying? But if we, you can't move funny in front of your kid.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh no, you're not. So you can't know. Ain't none of that. No, hell no. You feel me? But it comes
The
down to a point where you have to like I tell anybody like me and my oldest son mother. I swear to God, it took us you know 18 years to become cool.
yeah,
For real.
all I have three children's mothers. Don't judge me. Um, and with the exception of one, we just avoid each other. But the other two, I can sit in the same room with them. The woman that I'm with can sit in the same room with them. We can have a conversation. We can laugh, joke, giggle. Because at the end of the day, we have to all be adults. Um, yeah, before you bring a child into the world, absolutely. That's why we as men, this is our damn
Let me
fault sometimes.
let me ask you a question because they always say before, right? Let's be clear. Some of these kids was made. Oop, you feel me?
Yeah, no.
And it wasn't. I My last son was not a plan.
Even though it wasn't a plan, you knew what the hell the consequences of your actions could have been. You laid down raw. You knew what the hell could happen. Um, you knew what the outcome could be. Stop asking dumbass questions when you're on the first date. Like, what's your favorite color? Who gives a shit? How do you? What is your thought process on raising a child? Let's talk about some shit that might have some substance. If tonight goes the way I want it to, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, listen, we instead of playing the plot. Listen, it was not these kids. We
Yeah,
was out here
fuck that
doing
pullout
shit.
game.
We know we was wrong. We was wrong as shit. But once the kid get here, this is a whole nother level of responsibility. And guess
Once the
what?
kid gets
Sometimes
here, it's too late.
we gotta grow up quicker than we want to see what we doing. Let's be clear.
Once the child
I
is
didn't have my
here,
first one until I
it's
was
too
26.
late to have those conversations. So, what's your thought process on raising a child? It don't fucking matter. The child's here now.
But
Shit.
listen, a Henny night, I know there's probably a zillion Hennessy babies out
Yeah, probably.
there. You feel what I'm saying?
Maybe you should be sober, have some good conversations, then get the Henny and have a Henny night.
You need one time in your 20s and early 30s that you had a serious conversation before the knockdown came.
Yo, none. That was my damn problem. None. None, yo. My oldest daughter's mom, I knew the cloth that she was cut from. I knew if it happened, good. She was brought up good. She gonna bring my daughter up good. My youngest daughter's mom, even though she was cut from pretty good cloth, she just, not she was not the cloth she cut from. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody else.
My son's mom, both my sons by the same mother, good upbringing. I knew, and we planned those two boys, planned them, had a conversation. It wasn't oops, it wasn't a uh-oh. It was a strategic plan. This is what we are going to lay down to do. This is the agenda for the night.
Yeah, you were
We're gonna have some fun.
The moons, the stars, the quasars.
Right. We trying to do this. But I also right. Know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, is it going down tonight? Type of thing. But not every time do you get that opportunity. Sometimes you just, like you said, it's a Henny kind of night, and anything can happen.
Anything. I fucked around and shot the club, but
honestly, this newer generation is actually not having kids on the scale of our generation, ironically enough. Because let's not get it twisted. This generation is pretty damn far lost. Imagine if they was just dropping kids like we were. Who?
Well,
they're more responsible in that aspect. They're being more responsible because they don't want to get locked down with a kid. Most of them.
Listen, one thing it ain't lacking out this motherfucker is fucking. That's real. They fucking out of both past legs. Ain't take. Unfortunately, the grandmothers are 30. Now,
yeah,
grandma
think about that shit.
You watch your own kid. I'm still in the streets. I'm not still in the
right.
You
going to the club? I'm going to the club too. Shit, I ain't trying to watch your kid.
Somebody watch that baby. Grandma 50. My grandma ain't done yet. You feel them?
Right.
Grandma ain't dead yet. Watch the kids. Like, shit. Hey, look, you better stay home with. And I like the shot. You watch the shot, right?
Huh?
You watch the shot? You watch the shot?
I watched bits and pieces of it. I haven't really followed
the first season. The first couple seasons was real, like growing up, like really. Girl got raped. Boom, boom, boom. Mom, she wanted to keep the baby, but she found the pitfalls of life at that point. But the mom was there to help her, but she wasn't going baby it because this is what it is. Baby gets sick, you go to the hospital. Baby cried, you get up, and you gonna finish high school. You feel me?
Right.
You gonna finish high. So guess what? The times you want to go to see I ain't gonna say that. When you want to go see Chris Brown, that's not gonna happen. You're gonna be home with the baby. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Unless you get them parents that's just like, or them aunts. You got aunts, but yeah, I love the baby. And you just lucky with that. But most of the time,
that's far between, yo. That's few and far between.
But that's the consequences and the thing. But we kind of slid off. But it all rolls up together, when it comes to how the kid got here, your baby mother. You know what I'm saying?
Like I
whatever,
was talking to this
So
one cat. I was talking to this one cat, and he was like, "I gotta babysit my kid this weekend." I said, "No,
I ain't
nigga,
babysitting.
you gotta be a fucking parent this weekend. The fuck you mean you gotta
Crazy.
babysit?
I ain't
The
babysitting.
fuck you mean you
My
gotta?
son's over
No,
here.
you
Ain't
gotta
no
be a
babysit.
parent. That's your kid.
Got my DNA.
Shit, babysit. That's yours.
Got my DNA,
Well, I
baby.
stay on. Shit,
Mm, mm.
I gotta babysit this weekend. No, you
It's
gotta
like,
watch your child. You gotta do the other side of that equation. But yeah, when you have that, because if y'all missed any of last week's show, we was talking more about when you have children by one or two different parents, and how you have to learn how to parent with each one of these individuals. What one child might get away with, the other child might not, because they go in, they other parent is different. So if y'all missed some of that, go back to last episode. We definitely talked a lot about that. It's when you have more than one children's parent, that's when it really gets difficult. That's when the fucking rubber meets the road. Because like I said, one child might go to, let's say, that father's house, and he can stay up all night, fucking play video games till 3 in the morning. His other child go to his father's house, he's strict. You in the bed by 9. You know what I'm saying? You up by 7 in the morning. You got chores around here. When them kids come back to the one household, one kid gonna be like, "Oh, your weekend was like that? Damn, that's fucked up. I played video games till 3 in the morning." You know what I'm saying? You had to do chores. I don't do no chores at my father's house.
yeah, but that's gonna tell it. That's gonna pay that. That's gonna tell it down the line.
And you
You
got to
feel what I'm saying?
reprogram those two children when they come back to your house. Now they got to go by your rules.
Listen. It's like night and day. Like you be like,
Yeah,
what? Like you come over here, like, oh, dog, this is this my weekend, man. You like, you gonna take this trash out? You gonna clean up behind yourself? Because I'm not a maid. You know what I'm
like
saying? So,
my youngest daughter, when she would come out for the summertime, she would hate it because I had rules.
uh-huh.
I don't give a fuck if it's the summertime or not. I need you to be up at a certain time because I got to be the hell out the house at a certain time. So it's time for you to go to bed. Yeah, you can lay down, watch TV, whatever, but I got rules in my house. Her mother didn't have those rules. Her mother sat up outside smoking weed and shit. We ain't doing that at my house. You know what I'm saying?
It
That's not what we
becomes
gonna do.
real hectic. It becomes real hectic. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it becomes hectic. It almost brings a tear to your eye that you gotta even go through this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like common sense should be like, this ain't gonna play out well because way down the line they're gonna pay for this shit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
but we that's why having that cohesion is important. Because if the child is staying up until 3 o'clock at my house and they with me for a weekend, when they come home and you got them going to bed at 9, their sleep pattern is all screwed up now. That means he's going to be getting up later. So that for the next week, you're reprogramming that child that this is how we do things here. Because I might have the child Wednesday and every other weekend. That means most of the time they're with their mom. I need to look at, okay, what's your rules in your house? So when they come to my house, we can match that. You know
3 in the
we
morning ain't
can
gonna
match
happen.
those rules. Because I ain't letting no damn kids stay up until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning playing video games. I don't give a fuck if it is the summer. You take your ass to bed at a reasonable hour because you got to get up at a reasonable hour. But it's just laying down. We've made a lot of, and when I say we, I mean our generation. We made a lot of dumb decisions because we didn't like the rules that we had when we were kids. So we were like, oh, when I have a kid, I'm not gonna have those same rules. No, it worked for me. It'll work for them too. Shit, them rules work for me. I turned out
Beat
pretty
him.
all right. You know what I'm saying?
Beat him.
I, I will definitely use whatever means is at my disposal to punish a child if need be. Because guess what? That's what I had to go through, and it didn't work too bad on me.
Yeah. We were the last generation. We the kids. You could walk home from school, lock the door, and stay in there by yourself without running down the house. So what happened?
Right. Go in the
How did
house,
it
don't
work
open
out?
the door for nobody.
Nobody. Get you a bowl of cereal, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, whatever you got, salami sandwich,
Watch
get some
TV,
juice.
play some video games, whatever you're gonna do. Watch some TV until I get home.
But the first thing got to be done is the homework.
Yeah.
So, you get home, get your snack, watch Speed Racer, because that's on early when you get in the house. But by the time you get home, you better be in them books doing what
Yeah.
you need to do. Like I virtually never went outside during the week except for Friday and Saturday and the early Sunday
Oh yeah.
during the
Nah,
school system, during the school
that
year.
wasn't me. That wasn't me. No.
I went to
No,
though.
no.
We had so much work during the week. Hey, I'll be out. No, you ain't. I got to finish this damn term papers. And we like, remember, city was a college prep school, so everything was long and drawn out. And read this book, and I hated to read boring ass books like Macbeth and was it Old Men in the Sea? That dumbass shit.
Shit. I got as much done as I could on the bus ride and the train ride home. So when I get home, I got very few things to do, so I can get outside with my boys, hang out. But like I guess that'll kind of lead into the second part of the show.
Mental health.
Mental health, generational trauma that you've had to deal with in your younger years that you may not have even dealt with in your formative years. And we all have trauma on one level or another. You know what I'm saying? Like we've all gone through something. Well, I can't say we've all. Some people have had the absolute perfect fucking childhood and they had no trauma and everything was peaches, cream, roses, and clovers.
Yeah, but they had some trauma. It just ain't on the level their trauma maybe because they couldn't have something. You feel
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying? Or
that's
like
a different kind
let's
of
say for
trauma.
example, when the dude killed his mother and father because they wouldn't let him drive the truck.
Yeah,
Dude, he said no was a trauma to him. You feel what I'm saying? No was a
it's
trauma
fucking crazy.
because he's so used to saying yes.
My father would have
You know what I'm
said,
saying?
"Sure, you can go outside and drive the truck. I don't own one, so if you can find one, go drive it. Whatever truck you find, you go drive that. Now, there's consequences to your actions because when the police pull your ass over and you go to jail,
But dude, listen, man. The word no in today's society is like a trauma thing. Like you can't even go. These dudes walk up, dude took the girl because she wouldn't give the number.
yeah,
What no was a trauma word for these dudes out here.
shit. No, it's
You know
something
what
you
I'm
better
saying?
get used to because you're gonna hear that shit a lot in your life.
No. Like,
Um,
nigga, you
no,
know what I'm
fuck
saying?
no.
No. It ain't happening. No. What? No. No
My
was a trauma
youngest,
word.
my youngest biological son, right when he was getting ready to
Mhm.
graduate high school, he called me up. And he said, "Hey, do you think you and mom can get together and buy me a car for my graduation?" I said, "No, the fuck, no. How about you work for it because you'll appreciate it more? We'll help you pay that first year's insurance. We ain't buying you no damn car. It's gonna take you to show me that you can do a lot more than ask for a car for me to get you a car."
Listen.
And then,
Cars and
and then
driver's
I had to
license.
ask him
Yeah.
the magic question. I said, "Did you get your license yet?" "I'm still working on it." So why the hell are you talking about a car that you couldn't legally drive?
Well, I hope you never told them none of your stories.
No, I try to keep some of my stories to myself.
Because you always listen. My son, he was under the impression. I was like, yo, I didn't have good grades in high school. Why I don't reward that shit.
Right.
And no was a trauma word for him, right? He was working at Giant, you know what I'm saying? He decided, I'm gonna start scamming
Mm.
and DoorDash. Luckily, he never got caught scamming, but got his little bit of money and bought him. He about six. He had about 4 or 5 used Honda Accords, no license, and wrecked every one of
Yeah, my first car, I ain't had no
them.
license.
Mm.
First car, no license. Second car, no insurance.
Hey,
Shit.
listen. As a man, you learn some shit. When I totaled
Yeah.
that '94 Eclipse and they have no insurance, and you still paying that for that bitch.
Shit. Fuck that. When
That's
them
a
when them party lights turn on behind your ass and the cops pulling your ass over, you the guest of honor at that party. Shit.
you getting in the part of the car with no steering wheel.
Right. Right. With your hands behind your back.
But
He said that's called determination on his part. That's right. He got the cars though.
yeah, dude, listen, the car, yo, this don't lie. Sitting there, the dispatcher calls. Hey, this is Honda Accord? Nope, it's my son. Well, it's wrapped around a pole and they done ran. I said, he's somewhere hurting right now. Because I know the
Mm-hmm.
impact was crazy. I never said nothing to him about it. I was like, but he was so pressed to drive, like, dude. And I tried to teach him rewards come to those who earn them, not just because.
That's right.
You feel what I'm saying? And this ain't you don't get a participation trophy in high school. I mean, participating and graduating, that's something you're supposed to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The diploma, the high school diploma is the name of the game. I ain't get no car. I wasn't getting no car when I got out of high school. Like shit. My aunt had an 85, 86, 87. It was 86 Cutlass Supreme that I was gonna get. They're gonna give me the car. They went out and bought another Honda Accord, and he had her Civic. And she got a Civic, he had a Honda. Nope, it wasn't for me. Dude came down the street and told the bitch right in front of their house. It
Yeah, that wasn't meant for you.
was that close. And my father let me drive. He told me you had one accident. I've been about 6 months before I totaled a Chevette. That's the last time I drove any of his cars. And
Shit,
guess what I did from then on up? It was bus of mine.
I got into an accident and my insurance was getting ready to lapse because I had already stopped paying for it. You know, you get that last month. I got into an accident right before that shit lapsed. My father was like, "Yeah, that's on you, homie. That's on you. However you got to get it, get it." Because I T-boned the motherfucking Thunderbird. T-boned the shit out of his car. Fucked his shit up. In the most racist part of Brooklyn, New York.
So let me ask you a
People getting
question,
ready to kill me.
What was the most traumatic experience as a kid? Then we're gonna get to the adult level. That you still carry with
Probably the death of my brother. Because that was the one person in my life who can always push me. He would use reverse psychology, and as I got older, I realized what reverse psychology was. He would tell me what I can't do, and I would have to prove him wrong. So he would tell me, you're not going to get good grades, and I would have to get good grades to prove him wrong. But then when he got killed, I no longer had that push. I didn't have that person to push me any longer. So that was probably one of the most traumatic. I've dealt with trauma as a kid, but that right there was, I was 15. He died a few months before his 21st birthday, and he died 2 weeks after my 15th birthday. So, yeah, that was probably like not having him around anymore was was like a big trauma, and it's something that I still deal with, but I just deal with it differently. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid to tell one of my boys, "Hey, yo, my guy, I love you, man," because you never know when that's gonna be the last opportunity you might get to say that shit. So, you know what I'm saying? I I respect the brothers that are in my life. I appreciate the brothers that are in my life because when I lost mine, it was those other brothers that came into my life that helped guide me through. You know what I'm saying? So without the brothers that I picked up and adopted over time, older cats, without them, I don't know where I would be. You know what I'm saying? I would probably be probably where my brother is, to be quite honest. You know what I'm saying? I've had dudes save me from making some of the worst mistakes of my life. Um, and they didn't have to do that. That wasn't their responsibility, but they took it on.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? So what about you? Anything from your childhood that you carry into your latter years?
Yeah. So I mean, it's crazy. You can find it crazy, but I'm gonna say it. So as a kid, not as a kid. So as a kid, me and my man Joey, we grew up in church together, right? Young cats,
Okay.
we come to church together. We come to church. Me and Joey talking about, yo, we can be all right. But me and Joey probably like 11, 12, coming to church. So I had been up Joey's house the day before, rode my bike up, hang out with Joey, because Joey had asthma. So Joey couldn't do, he had chronic asthma. So, with the chronic asthma, you ain't doing too much. It sends you
Yeah.
off the rails. Back then, you feel what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
sends you off the rails. Before they, the technology, the thing they got now,
Right.
it's way better than what we got. So I remember telling my mom, I said, yeah, can I go up to Joey's house? No, you can't go up to Joey's house. Joey passed away last night from severe asthma attack.
Oh
That was
wow.
like, that was like the hardest pill as a
Yeah.
kid. That's your man's. You know what I'm saying? I go up his house and the bike up there. She was mad. Then we gonna hang out. Like I said, Joey
Wow.
didn't do a whole lot. Me and Joey played the little games. Did what we could do so he could stay.
Right.
Have he come to church with us? We that was it. That right there was probably the most as a kid when you that age. Find out, as a kid, you don't see your aunt, your uncles, and all them. They passed away. They was old. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Somebody your age,
Yeah.
oh, then you
That's some
go to
shit
the
to deal with.
funeral. I can tell you the whole thing. The children's choir singing. He got in a white suit in the casket. You feel what I'm saying? That shit's crazy. That shit's bananas. Now, as an adult, the most traumatic thing I ever dealt with, and you can find, you probably can understand that. So, been in two shootings. I done seen all type shit happening out here in these streets. But the death of my mother,
Mm. Mm.
don't nothing compare to that. But here's the caveat that people don't get. My mother died July, June, latter part of June, which was that was okay. The latter part, now I'm trying to remember the exact date. But the date that sticks in my mind is July 6th, the day I buried her. It was the
Mm.
day before my birthday. See what I'm
Wow.
saying? So my birthday, she buried the day before my birthday.
Wow.
So, and the thing about it, I was sitting up talking. I was talking to my mother the day before. She was sitting up talking. Boom, boom, boom. My youngest son wasn't due to October. She died in July. I mean, she died in
Mm.
June. And she was like, I can't wait till the baby get here. Yeah, 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 yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, but that was the single handed as an adult. And wipe out the rest of that. and what I seen, and then right behind that, a year and a half later, I got to bury my father.
Mm. Yeah,
You
see, my
know,
family,
so
we have a rule in our family, especially after we lost my brother. We don't say goodbye to each other. I'll see you later,
mhm.
talk to you later on. You're not allowed to say goodbye to somebody in my family, in my immediate family, me and my sisters, unless they're getting lowered into the ground. That's when you say your goodbye, because goodbyes are forever. Um, when my mom passed, I had came up to New York, spent the week with her, because they told me it was looking bad. It was looking bad. They don't know when she's gonna go. So I was like, yo, I gotta go. Hopped on the next thing smoking. I'm up in New York. Um, laughed, joke, chill with my mom for that week. Um, I was actually at the hospital when she coded. So I heard her code. You know what I'm saying? Um, and that was traumatic in the aspect of you're actually listening to somebody's life leaving them. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody who, and I'm like sitting there and I'm in the hallway while they're trying to, revive her and everything. And my older sister had to make the call to stop trying to revive her. Um, my older sister had to make that call. And as soon as they stopped, she coded. It was over.
My mom's had a
Um,
DNR, so it wasn't gonna work.
yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, like these are things that as men we push it out our mind is what we do because we're taught you just got to push forward. You got to keep going. You don't have time to stop and worry about trauma. You got to push through it. You got to keep pushing. Um, but
We
what we
raising
don't
kids
tell
though,
each
so we
other,
couldn't fall.
yeah, but
You
we
know, you
don't, we
raising
don't.
kids, we can't fall. We can't slow down. We can't get off the gas. We got to push
Nah,
through.
you got to keep pushing. All gas, no brakes. You got to keep going. But what we don't get a chance to tell each other is, hey, if you need somebody to talk to, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? If you need to get some stuff off your chest, I'm here. Because we can't keep telling each other that, yo, just push through it. You're gonna be all right. That shit don't work no more. Um, I'm sure when you were in your profession, a lot of dudes tried to push through until they couldn't no more.
Well,
I don't know if it was as bad down here as it was in New York, but shit, you always heard about a cop, you know what I'm saying, eating his gun because he couldn't push through no more. You know what I'm saying? We can't
well,
rely on that push through shit no more. Like we sometimes you gotta just say, hey, what are you going through? Seek
let me say
help.
this, brother.
Guys, this is men's mental health awareness month. If you got something that you need to talk to somebody about, there are professionals out there that you can talk to. Um, don't be afraid to say, I need help. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of like I said, my childhood trauma, I dealt with it, moved on. Um, I don't
I
think
don't know,
about it,
Don.
so
You was
it
you
don't
was
bother
pretty
me.
passionate. You was pretty passionate Saturday night. And you struck a
Yeah, I just,
nerve.
because
It was good though. It was great.
it was. I just, what I dealt with in my life, young growing up or whatever, what I had to see, what I had to endure. Um, like most of my friends from my third grade class never saw 21. They never saw 21. Most of them didn't see 18. You know what I'm saying? So I remember a time when you were saying a lot more rest in peace than happy birthdays. You know what I'm saying? And you just start to adapt to it is what it is. That that's just a fact of life. If you're gonna be in the streets, that's a fact of life. That's a possibility. Um, so yeah, like I've dealt like death sits differently with me. I've dealt with it too much. Like you get numb to certain things.
So with me, so when you in the profession, we got to go solve everybody else's problems
Mm-hmm.
and put ours on the back. We could be going through
Yeah.
divorce, but we got to come to work and focus on that right now. But your home ain't right. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? You're going to go deal with 8 to 12 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever shift of somebody else's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That you got to go in there and you got to be the counselor. You got to be, you might have to be everybody to them. But yet your shit at home is raggedy and up. I say, yeah. You feel what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And some people can't separate the job from home. And
It's
that's the
hard.
bad thing. I think I was blessed at how to separate the two. You know what I'm saying? Because the job was the job. Once I left that job, that's where the fuck it was. I don't want to hear nobody using codes. I don't want to hear nothing. We go out, you gotta release. You gotta let that shit go. Because you've been rocking and rolling in them. The districts I was in, you jammed. There wasn't no, when you got downtime back, and now it's no downtime. 'Cause these motherfuckers doing everything. Back then, Saturdays and Sundays was sacred. You know what I'm saying? Moms go to church. Everybody's safe. You can get a chill day on Sunday. But you get a little reprieve. But you knew your week was that Thursday started the party week. That's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You got to work.
Mm-hmm.
During the early part, that was back then. Now they shoot every day, all times of day, all night, any time of night. They don't give a rat's ass. But
24/7 now.
and that's the trauma. If you can't separate from that, that'll fuck you up. It's a lot that go on. There's a lot to unpack. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a lot to unpack at certain things. Then you got kids. You never know. Your dude could be losing his house. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. Girlfriend problem. Because I swear to God, you be looking at dudes, the couple dudes, I thought they had it all together. Well, no, I know one. I said, oh, man, good. Ate his gun. What the fuck?
Mm.
Classmates. You feel what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, it's all type of trauma. Like, think about it when you look at that commercial where the kid they film a commercial in Chicago and the kid walking through the hood, he's trying to get to school and you got gang bangers over here, the drug dealers over here.
Yeah.
But you bringing it up, you can even use the trauma as a catapult, or you can succumb to it.
Right.
You
Right.
feel what I'm saying? 'Cause, I'm like, listen, though. Sometimes I be looking when you hear about kids how they came up, and you be like, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But us as men, and we were raised by men's men.
Right.
Your father was a Vietnam vet. My father was straight out the South, pickpocketing, had jobs, went to the army, played sports. My house, the rules you gonna follow. I don't want to hear none of that. You feel
Right.
what I'm saying? Cry? I ain't see my father cry till my mother passed away. That never saw my father cry. That wasn't gonna happen. Like if I'd have told my father I was could commit suicide or some dumb ass shit like that, he said, "You one dumb nigga." That's what he'd have told me. He's like, when that's what he'd have told me. I promise you that would have been his answer. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like you don't get the fold, right? You get. You
Right.
don't get the brick. You don't get to do shit, but hold this down. And you can understand why they was like that back in the day because they raising families off of one job. The mom was scrubbing floors. You see why they the way they are. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying? So, and we quoting that generation that we were raised like that. That's it. We 70s baby. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? 60s, 70s babies, we cut a different way. You know what I'm saying? It isn't even like we see something, we be like, yeah, that's fucked up. You know, all right, going home. You understand what I'm
Moving
saying?
right along, right? Moving right along.
Moving right along. But I think that's what the mental health. A lot of these kids out here suffer from mental health issues. It's not they don't know how to express themselves.
Let me ask you this.
Violence is the only answer.
Let me ask you this. Do you think by some of these children these days, I'm talking the last two generations. Well, yeah, last two generations. Do you think them being raised soft causes a lot of their trauma? And what I mean by that is like bullying, for example. Bullying was a fucking fact of life when I was growing up. Either you gonna get
You would
bullied or you
find
gonna
something
be
to
the
beat that
bully.
ass or what?
Right. You take a motherfucking tree branch to a nigga head with one good time, that bully is no longer gonna be a problem. But
Right.
these kids now, you know what I'm saying? Like they coming home, they got bullying laws in school, and you got kids, you know what I'm saying, taking themselves out because of bullying or cyberbullying. First of all, if you're getting bullied, if somebody's cyberbullying you, just turn the phone off. Just-
Listen, dog. This is the way I feel about that. And I tell her, it's like getting bullied. I don't think nobody should. I think everybody should be able to don't fuck with nobody because everybody ain't got what you got. We knew that, that's like everybody ain't got what you got. Everybody's not thinking like you think. And
Mhm.
you got to teach your kid to march or the own beat the drums. You ain't gonna fit on in everybody's lane. So
Right.
get in yours and take it down. I mean, motherfuckers, look, dude, mm, we ain't going through this every day. We were gonna do this every day till you get tired, but you ain't making me do nothing I don't want to do. You feel what I'm saying? But the fun of your statement last you can really please had
So last two
my son's
generations
generation and
with
my
yeah,
it would be
you're
my
probably
son's
talking about
generation.
Gen X and millennials.
Yes,
Gen X and millennials.
yeah, definitely. They different. And you can't talk to them like you talk to a 70s, maybe early 80s baby, because they interpret shit different. They soft.
Yeah.
They soft. I mean, they like you can see it. You know what I'm saying? You can see it. Everything is, yo, you want I'm gonna fuck you up, I'm gonna shoot you. You finna with me. And it's
Right.
words. Words ain't never killed nobody. Yeah,
Right. You better put them hands
nothing.
up.
But everybody got a gun, everybody, yo, I don't fight, I shoot, I'll shoot you. Yeah, words.
No.
Yeah, words, but let's get these hands on. That ain't even the case now. But like they need to be retrained. They need to be talked to, like for real. Like they need somebody to step in and tell. Not when they get to high school, because they pretty much who they gonna be at high school. You got to get them in the elementary when the mother think it's cute for little Becky to be like you bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's where you got to start hit. You got to hit it there because that should be shut down.
Now,
You know
now
what I'm
let me
saying?
do this, and Keith will probably be a good person for this question as well in the comments. Um, so we all went out, we had kids, like we said before, like we said before, you split up from your child's mother, but there was certain men from our generation who was able to raise children the way we were raised. Like the mother didn't block us from showing our young men, okay, this is what you're gonna do. This is how you need to grow up. We were able to instill some of the things that we learned in them, and they are being raised different. You know what I'm saying? They have a different mentality because we learned from our fathers. We put that into our young sons, and they come up with a different mentality. But if you a guy who, let's just fucking call it what it is, you split up with your child's mother, you don't want to have nothing to do with it. So now your child's mother is now raising your son, and she's doing the best she can, but she can't teach that young man how to be a man. She can teach him responsibility. She can teach him manners. She can do all of those things, but she can't teach him how to be a man. So a lot of that softness, just to be kind of honest, is men who walked out of their son's life and left the mother to try to teach their son how to be a man.
Yeah. And and I've known a lot of women that made some strong men. Don't get me fucked
Oh
up
yeah,
at all. But those ones that lack, they might not have been an awful around. You know what I'm saying? They might not have been around, and they kind of slipped through the cracks. And now and a lot of women, I ain't gonna say all women, they like to pacify the kid since they father not there. Sounds over pacification. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? And you create a monster, and you create a little monster, and that's crazy. I'm not listen. If you want to give your kids the world, I'm not saying that, but you got to understand that if you ain't there, how you gonna get it?
right,
You know what
right.
I'm
You
saying?
got to
So you
teach
got to
him how to
understand
get
that
it.
there's limits to this. Like let's if you want to continue getting this, you got to get a job. This is how you get all this stuff. You saying hit the block. Know where you first of all know where your kid is. You know what I'm saying? You got kids getting stop murdered out here at 2, 3 in the morning. Why are you outside at 2, 3 in the morning as a teenager? Any teenager, unless you 17, 18, 17, 18. You might be coming from work or whatever. You might be on the bus or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. But let's get back. I digress. But it all contributes to mental health with these kids when they get older because it's all a melting pot. Like, let's say, Don, I shouldn't have to teach my kid. If I teach my kid not to kill your kid, why don't you teach your kid not to kill my kid?
Right. Like think about what this generation, Gen X, think about what they're going to be as adults.
Dude, I'm scared.
You know what I'm saying? That's something to think about because
I'm
they're
scared.
not being raised with the same type of mentality, the same type of morals.
The
I
values,
fought.
the
I fought as a
values,
kid. We
the
you,
values.
we didn't
That's
have access to firearms and stuff like that when I was a kid. When I was 12, 13, you had to get out there and you had to scrap,
so.
and you might fight
So
the
as
same
you,
person every day that damn week. But that's what
so
you're gonna do, and I'll come back tomorrow.
as you see, the mental health thing is going to continue to rise.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? We understand that we went through. They're not going to figure this out. Like they need to be pulled in, yanked, and when they go to jail or whatever, they need to sit down with a not just go to jail. They need to sit down with psychiatrists and people to talk. They need to be in the class every day. You feel what I'm saying?
yeah,
But us though, as adults, as men, adults dealing with mental health, we struggle because of how we were raised.
yeah. We was raised that you don't sit there and cry over shit like that. You don't cry over shit like
That's
that. You suck it up and you
that's
move
us.
on.
That's us in a nutshell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's us in a nutshell. And the trauma, depending on what you did in your life, depending on where you lived in your life, your trauma is different. Everybody got different trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like when you made this statement about you come up in a perfect household, but like I said, what is a perfect household? Saying no was a
yeah. Like everybody has their own story. Um, I was talking to one of our brothers last night, and he was raised by his mom only, but his
Mhm.
mom made him strong. Like she wasn't one of those mothers who babied him. His mom was his best friend.
Mhm.
and she instills certain things into him. Now we all gonna make our own mistakes, because at the end of the day, you are still a human being responsible for your own actions. So we all still gonna make our mistakes. But his mom pushed certain things into him that even when those mistakes came up, he had to take those lumps. You know what I'm saying?
And I don't think,
Um,
like I said, a lot of these kids, like you said, like we try to raise our kids. I know how I try to raise mine. Hey, look here, man. We ain't raising no fucking suckers out here. So y'all gonna stand on business. You know what I'm saying? But was that? And I'm gonna ask you a question now. Do you think we pushed too much because we went through? Because some of that is some of our bullshit. We pushed them too much, or we should have. Certain things I'm not giving up on. Like do what I say. We're not doing boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? But then you got to speak that language. Now with them, you got to speak another language. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think you do. You know why? You know why I say I don't think you do? Because so I look at myself, but then I also look at the brothers. Like I said, the brothers around me, right? Um, and I see a brother right now who we're really close to. He's one of our brothers, but I see how he treats his sons. You know what I'm saying? His sons grew up, and the level of responsibility that I see in his sons is what our fathers taught us, what their fathers
Mhm.
taught them. There was no breakdown in that. You know what I'm saying? So I watch how he handles his sons, and for all intentional purposes, sons are good kids. You know what I'm saying? They strong. You know what I'm saying? They're well mannered. Like, so as long as you don't allow that breakdown, what worked for my father and worked for his father and worked for me, why wouldn't I want to instill that same thing in my son? You know what I'm saying? Why would I not want my son to have the same morals, the same scruples, the same some level of maturity that was instilled in me? I'm just not. I wasn't taught to be built soft. You know what I'm saying?
And that in lies. That's why we deal with traumas. We don't, we don't deal with them.
Right, we
We
don't.
move through them. We move through them. You feel what I'm saying? Because thinking, yo, you had to be kind of. You was a correctional officer. You gotta listen, man. In the jail with them, you gotta be cut out of a certain part. Man, there can't be no. There can't be you move through. You know what I'm saying? Trauma, trauma. I think we. No, I'm desensitized like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Hands down, I'm desensitized like a motherfucker. I mean, it contributed to seeing so much shit. You know what I'm saying? And it desensitized you. We different,
The
different.
only the only difference between our generation and our father's generation, right? Our fathers would never have, I'm going to counseling, I'm going to go see a therapist. Like that was unheard of for them. For us, we have that the wherewithal in our mind to say, you know what, I can't handle everything myself. I can't deal with everything myself. So I may need to go talk to a professional, speak my mind, so that they can say, okay, well, this is where you're going through. This is where you might be able to, manage some of that trauma. But we have that outlet, but we can't let that outlet become a pillow for the next generation. Okay,
Right.
so somebody told you no today. Okay, get over it. Deal with that shit. A no is a no. Move on. Um, somebody told you that you can't have something that you want. So either get it yourself or wait until you can.
They have these are the. Remember, you're talking about generations. Listen, that think they were born and the world didn't exist before they were here.
Yeah.
You know, you tell them you was born in 1970. You was a slave. You know what I'm saying? So you talk to a generation that don't think you've ever been through anything. That's why they don't see this. That's why the politics doesn't affect them because we understood why certain things, why people are mad, why certain things are happening. They don't see it. You know, they don't see it. My son sees it because he's in the politics. The youngest one, but my oldest one, la 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 la. But and that be that issue. You know what I'm saying? It's like before. You know, let me say this. So remember the dumb Max B thing said he was better than Big Daddy Kane.
Who? Oh yeah, yeah,
Max
yeah,
B.
yeah, yeah.
And I was like, yo, how did you say something about the pioneer of the game?
Right.
Well, why did, and you know, some people say, well, he ain't got a whole bunch of money. There was not a lot of bunch of money. If you went gold back then, you was doing it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? If you moved 100,000 units, you was done.
Yeah. But they also
So
didn't have
that,
streaming. They didn't have
yeah,
YouTube. They didn't have, you know what I'm saying? They had to actually sell every record, physical record,
at a store.
in a store.
So that's what I mean when you're like, yo, it's traumatic for us, yo, dealing with this generation. It's trauma right there, yo. And when we go out the door, yo, I said, these motherfuckers scare me, yo. They so simple.
hmm
You know, and I've seen a lot of shit, done a lot of shit. I said, but them motherfuckers scare me.
Because you never know what's going to set them off. What's going to be that one
Right.
thing to set them off. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't honestly, you know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody to take my life, and I don't want to have to take nobody. I don't want to have to take nobody's child's life. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine how much trauma that is, yo, dealing with it every day. You got to go to work. You know, you don't know if you're gonna cut. They doing so much. You just try
Yeah.
to steer clear. That's trauma in itself. That everyday people got to go through. People going to work. I'm just, you know, I'm not going in the city. They don't know how to act.
Oh, I've had plenty of people say that to me. I've had plenty of people say that. I've had somebody tell me that they will intentionally take the longest route around the city just so they don't have to go through the city.
And I understand, but I also
And
understand that it ain't all
these
about.
are adults.
It
These
ain't
are
all
well
about you.
established adults.
Mm,
You know what I'm
mm.
saying? And it is not just Baltimore. It is not. I've lived in
It's anywhere in USA at this point.
yeah, I've lived in three major cities. New York, I've lived in Louisville, Kentucky, and I've lived here. In all of those three major cities, it ain't much different going on. Like I don't
Any anywhere USA, dog. Anywhere USA.
I was watching
It was.
First 48 a couple of months ago. Me
Mhm.
and the wife we watched like a lot of shit like that. And it was the episode was about Louisville, Kentucky. And I was like, oh shit, well, I used to live there. You know what I'm saying? I know. And it just so happens that the person who got killed on First 48 was a rapper, a young rapper that I used to DJ for. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I'm sitting there telling my wife, I'm like, yo, I know that dude. You know what I'm saying? Know him personally. Well, knew him
Mhm.
personally. Um, but what I want everybody to do, first of all, please do us a favor, like, subscribe, and share. If this is your first time joining the show, hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps us out tremendously. So we really appreciate it if you could do it. If this might be helpful to somebody else, send it to them. Don't hide the wealth. If it helps you out, or if it's something you think might help somebody else out, get it to them. For the rest of this month, we're going to be speaking of a lot of
Definitely.
men's mental health
Definitely.
topics. But we got about 3 more weeks
Want to
before we close out
join?
this month.
If you
So
want to
join
join,
the
give us a hint. We'll
conversation.
bring you in.
um, Bring you in or be in the comments. We'll put your comments up on screen. We'll talk to you about them. If you have a story, if you have your own truth that you want to talk about, let us know. Reach out to us. We'll definitely bring you in just so you can tell your truth. Maybe you might have to something that you want to get off your chest that you've been holding on to, some trauma that you've been dealing with. And
Yeah.
this is definitely the platform for it. This is Tell Your Truth with Lou and Don. Tune in with us next Monday. We're going to be probably picking up a little bit of this conversation and then carry on to another mental health conversation. We're going to do that. Hopefully we get to help each other. Sometimes we might be getting stuff off our chest. This is therapy for us. So see us next Monday. But we older guys. We got to get some fucking sleep. So what we gonna do is we gonna sign off for now. We appreciate everybody hanging out. Hour and 10 minutes. We love y'all. But until next Monday, I'm Don.
I'm ready.
And we gonna do this again next week. Tune in, please. Later, folks. It's time to tell your truth with Lou and Don. Please like, subscribe,